Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's a podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who are sexualizing old men on the internet again, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Maddie.
I'm Ezra.
I'm Helena. Now, Maddie, if I must just take issue with the sort of shameful tone you took with that admission and like to contradict that with, I'm not ashamed of it. I do sexualize old men on the internet.
Proud.
And I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I have learned from my forefathers on...
Look, I have learned from my foremothers who were out here literally mailing each other proof of how horny they were for Leonard Nimoy. One, they were right. And two, I refuse to be drawn down into the fucking neo-puritanical hellscape that is elements of fandom.
You know what?
Certain
you know what? You guys are right.
Yeah.
You're right.
There's no... I mean, maybe there are things on this podcast that we should be ashamed of, but this isn't one of them.
I don't know.
I'm sexualizing old men on the internet, and I'm proud.
I listened back to my rant about Hugo Weaving last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather, and I just wanted to say that I blacked out when that happened, so I don't have any memory of doing it.
It was very funny to listen to that back again. Yeah.
I apologize greatly to anybody who was... I don't, because you should be offended, because you're terrible, but I don't remember doing it, so...
You're so mad.
I mean,
now, to be fair, I did
Oh,
technically have COVID during that time, so maybe it was the delusion.
Blame it on the Rona, baby. Blame it on the Rona.
I didn't have brain
You could do that all you want, but... I know the truth.
We literally have the tapes.
Anytime I have, like, a moment on the podcast, I can just say I've come down with it again.
You know, one of the lesser-known symptoms, I guess.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is episode 69. We're off to a banger start.
Nice!
Nice.
You legally have to say nice when you hear me say that's episode 69. Sorry.
Nice.
If you didn't do it earlier, go back and say nice. We were originally, it was suggested to us, I think by Ben, to do a stoner movies episode, because that would be funny. And then we all were like, we're not stoner movie people is the problem.
We all like weed, and we like movies.
Correct.
But, the last notable time I got high and watched a film was Thor: The Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how is that?
I mean, I still was like, justice for Chris Eccleston.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spent the entire final action sequence of that movie trying to explain to my roommate at the time that you couldn't get from that part of central London to Greenwich off from the Circle and District line without having to transfer to the Docklands Light Railway.
Wow. So, wow.
Didn't you get high when you watched Angels and Demons recently?
Oh, yeah. But I had seen that movie before. I've gotten... That was true. I did get blazed and watch Angels and Demons, which didn't improve that movie either. Much like many times when I've gotten high to, get through a bad experience, it doesn't actually improve the experience, it just means that I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You free yourself from your shackles of giving a shit.
Exactly. So, I don't know, maybe that did... Yeah, it's I still knew that movie was terrible, but it, freed me from, caring that it was terrible, and I was just able to sort of, cherry pick out the parts that I do like. And then...
I mean, that sounds nice. That sounds pleasant.
I mean, it sounds like it's nice, but, I don't know. I've never watched a movie that was sort of, not necessarily designed to be watched while stoned, but the kind of I've never watched a movie that was clearly made with stoners in mind while I was high.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have you watched Wizard of Oz with Dark Side of the Moon playing in the background? Because I have.
No, but I really kind of that's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
And I kind of think I should just go for it.
It's fun.
I feel like if I get high enough and do that, I will, like, astrally project back to 7th grade when I was, like, ended up playing the Wicked Witch of the West while running a, like, 102-degree fever.
Jesus.
Rough.
Which is still one of the wildest experiences of my adolescence. Yeah, I really, like, I went hard on the whole the show must go on thing from a young age. 'Cause, like, I was, like, really sick.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I had a lot of really bad sinus infections as a kid.
Gosh, I think the worst I've ever done is just done a show with one contact in, which was, like, bad, but...
Oh, damn. How did that, like, fuck up your depth perception?
I feel like I would have taken out...
That would...
I would have taken out the
say?
other contact.
Who's to say? I don't
I would have just been like...
I'm just imagining
I'm
Helena, like,
blind.
casually, like, finding a way in character to, like, just reach up and, like,
squint.
Flip out the other contact.
It wasn't a proscenium thing, so there was no danger of me falling off the edge, which is nice. And
okay. Well, that's
was a
good.
seagull, so I was playing Masha, so any, like, you know, look I got that looked weird, I could just be like, oh, I'm drunk. You know. I'm constantly drinking, so. You know,
it
to
worked
mend a
out,
broken
yeah.
heart, you know.
I'm thinking about, like,
You know.
yeah, no, like, do people still get high and watch Pink Floyd's The Wall? Like, is that do people still do
I hope
that?
so.
Yeah,
I
sure.
hope so,
You know-
because, like, I kind of want to, but...
In
I do
Portland,
too.
people get high and watch
Ezra,
anything.
we could do that. That's true.
Well, yeah. Fair. Also, I'm thinking about, because, like, I've never seen any of the sort of, like, late 2000s stoner comedies.
yeah, that's what I was thinking
Just
of when
never
that episode
watched
was
any of
first
those.
pitched.
I
Yeah.
watched Harold and Kumar go to White Castle once, but I was, like, too, like, sheltered to understand what the fuck was going on. And also, like,
We
literally
talked about
just
this last
grew up
episode,
under a
right?
rock
Where,
and
like,
really
none of us
didn't
knew.
understand.
None of us knew
why.
what White Castle was.
Yeah, I didn't know what a White Castle was, and also I didn't understand why Neil Patrick Harris showing up playing himself was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know who Neil Patrick Harris was.
right.
And also I'd
Might
never
be
smoked
funnier
weed
now.
before, so really that movie fell flat for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I just can't think. I mean, the things that, you know, when Leia and I talked about it on Tuesday, she was like, oh, you know, Dazed and Confused counts, but I haven't seen Dazed and Confused because I'm a bad person and whatever.
Does it?
Seen it either.
I don't know. And,
Neither have I. This
We're
is
all
a
terrible
podcast
people.
full of people who haven't seen Dazed and Confused,
We
I
knew
guess.
that.
I mean, yeah, Harold and Kumar I saw a long time ago. I mean, I haven't seen any, like, Cheech and Chong movies, you know?
Yeah.
So...
I
I
haven't
used
seen
to watch that
Pineapple
70s show as
Express.
a kid.
A stoner
I was
movie.
just about to ask that because I have seen Dude, Where's My Car? I
feel-
feel like it's a slacker movie. I don't know if it's a stoner
There's
movie.
there's a Venn diagram there, but I don't know if it's like in the middle.
Yeah, I don't
or
know
is,
if Dude,
or is
Where's
it
My
that
Car?
all stoner movies are slacker movies, but not all
But
slacker
not all
movies
slacker
are stoner
movies are stoner movies. I think it's that.
Okay.
I don't think Dude worked because I enjoyed that movie and had a good time even though I wasn't high and wasn't someone who smoked a lot of weed at that time. You know, like it still appealed to me
Yeah.
as a slacker.
Fair.
I call myself that. That's not true.
It's not
I was
really
gonna
what
say,
you are.
Maddie, you were like possibly the single most overscheduled person I know.
I wish to slack more.
You can be like spiritually a slacker.
I'm
I feel
spiritually
like
a slacker and physically an overachiever.
Yeah.
the duality of man.
Yeah, the heart wants what it wants.
I
but
mean,
the
out of
flesh
the
is
two of
weak.
us, who used to skip spirit assemblies to go and, you know, to the little corridor and, like, do homework that they forgot to do the night before because they were probably on Tumblr? That would be me. So I think that's probably the slacker between the two of us.
Between the two of us.
Yeah.
And I was on, I think I was on the Spirit Assembly Committee
Oh my god. Yeah.
at one point. So
Sorry.
I was like, I give a shit. Didn't give a shit then, don't give a shit now. But
yeah.
But that really, I think, sums it up in a nutshell. Anyway, so we're not doing stoner movies,
We're not
even though
doing
we
that.
just talked about them for like 10
So
minutes.
that was your Sneeple at the
Micro
Movies
episode.
mini-sode on
Yeah.
stoner comedies.
That's what we would have talked about if we had
Yeah.
decided to do a full episode.
We'll talk
Also, would have
about
talked
that.
about the time I got high and watched The Fall.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was great.
That sounds amazing. Now I'm just thinking
One of
about
the
that meme
best
where it's
movie
the cover
experiences
of
of my
Where's
life.
My Car, but it's Where Was Gondor with the West
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we're just doing an episode on sex and film. We decided to just go for the easy win.
You know, sometimes you have to just reach up and pluck the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. And I think that we've had episodes on
way possible.
Yeah, and throw a saucy wink over your shoulder while you do it.
Exactly.
We've had episodes on similar topics before, but I think that there's still a lot for us to talk about here. Because the one time we did something on it, I think we technically were doing an episode on something else and got distracted on that topic.
I love
sounds like
so
us.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not just... I feel like frequently we like start doing an episode about one thing and then it ends up including like 15% of the
like
episode
when we did
about
a Hugo
another
Weaving
thing.
episode last episode when it was supposed to be a Sneople episode.
This might end up just being an episode about PBS by the time we were over with it, you know. If we continue going on a certain tangent.
Yeah, we just never... It's unpredictable. Yeah. That's why people listen to us, because we're unpredictable.
You literally never know what you're going to get. And by you, I mean
it's
we
like an
also...
improv show.
Yeah, we have our little fucking document, but that doesn't mean anything.
They're really more like guidelines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because we did summer blockbusters. That's what
it was. Yes.
And that's how we led
summer
into...
blockbusters, which a notable feature of which is that, like, you know, being horny is banned.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, because I was like, I remember that I called that episode Sexy and Sexless, but I couldn't remember what the original topic was, so I went and go found it.
Oh, good plan.
I went and found it.
This is why you are the overachiever. I would have given up.
It helps that I technically
produce
the show,
the
so I like remember
of the Sneople Club, aka the only person who does any actual work.
That's not true. It's work to record. Helena makes the documents.
This is true. I don't do shit.
In that, I open them and then make stupid titles for them, like parenthesis, baked quietly, and parenthesis. Which is the title tonight.
That is fair. In my defense, I also get off of work way later than the other two of
This
you.
is true. In my defense, also, I'm 3 hours ahead, so I have a little bit more airtime.
That is fair. Speaking of airtime, hey Helena, what have you been re-listening to? Sorry, I just saw that one and I had to take it.
You did.
Just swooped in.
I'll just go first and do this. I have seen other things which I'll talk about later, I guess. But mostly I've been re-listening to Cabin Pressure for the, 60th time, 70th time, I don't know, something. Lots. I used to listen to Cabin Pressure. If you don't know what Cabin Pressure is, listeners, too, this is a BBC radio sitcom that started in 2008, ended in, gosh, when did Zurich premiere now?
Oh,
it's
hell,
so
I don't...
weird.
It wasn't on for that long.
2014. 2014 is when Zurich premiered, which is so weird.
I was gonna say, I remember it went on for a while, but like it's not actually that long of a series.
No, there's only
26 episodes.
27 technically, because Zurich
27 technically.
Yeah, two-parter. But yes, it's very short, and there were, I think, little breaks in between because they do that. And it is a radio sitcom about a small dysfunctional airline, and I love it incredibly dearly. And I listened to it like over and over and over and over and over again in college. And I just, every once in a while, I get that urge to re-listen to it, so I'll do that. And I, like, every single time I'm on an airplane, and especially when I'm on an airplane, and then the seatbelt signs go off, or, like, it's like, bing bong, that whole, like, and I'm just like, ugh! And then I'm like, I don't have Cabin Pressure with me, because I used to have Cabin Pressure on my iPod, and then my iPod broke, and I can't seem to get it on Spotify because life is cruel and unusual. And so I just like don't have it if I'm not like in front of a computer on my iTunes where I have my, files that I acquired so many years ago. And so I just like have been on 3 planes in the past year, which is not that much by some people's standards, but a lot for me. And I didn't have it with me any of those times, and now every single time I was like, this is how a Cabin Pressure episode would start, with a big bong, and I want to listen to a Cabin Pressure. So now I'm doing that, and I'm through my second, because like, every single time I listen to it, I have to listen to it 4 times each through, because that's just my weird ritual that I do to, you know, satiate my desire for it. So it's great. I want to make a little listen guide for people who haven't listened to it yet, and, you know, to get them into it, for people who might be into it. There's not that much really to skip, I feel, because it's such a short...
I was gonna say, I mean, I don't... It's one of those shows where, like, I guess if there's a particular episode that you're not feeling, like, you should just go ahead and skip it, but I wouldn't say that thing in Cabin Pressure where I'm like, don't bother listening to X, Y, or Z, you know?
Yeah, I would, like, for me, it's like Cremona and, like,
good.
Kuala Lumpur are, like, the only 2 where I'm like, it's not, like, the best, you're not gonna get, like, the most out of it, but, like, honestly, it's fine. And it's just, like, season 3, which has Kikik Tarjuak, Paris, Audrey St. Mary, Rotterdam, and St. Petersburg, I mean, is like, those are just like, it's perfect. It's just like,
I remember
perfect.
Very distinctly listening to, like, starting to listen to Cabin Pressure when I was still a fan of Sherlock.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of us
finishing Cabin Pressure after I had been comprehensively soured on Sherlock, and also just had come to sort of, like, hate Benedict Cumberbatch to a degree that's, like, frankly unfair to Benedict Cumberbatch, I hate to admit.
Yeah.
He's not that bad. I just I was so pissed off at the fucking Tumblr fandom that I just, like, hated him on principle. But I remember being like, I hate him in everything except Cabin Pressure.
It is,
I maintain, the single best thing he has ever done.
Yes, it 100% absolutely. When I was saying last week that, like, when we were talking about Power of the Dog, and I was like, I just kind of, like, I was trying to say it without not saying it outright, where I was like, the types of stuff that he does in Hollywood now are kind of, like, not the kind of roles that I'm really interested in seeing him in. What I mean by that is I want him to do comedy again. Because when he was just starting out, he was doing shows like Hugh Laurie's show 40-something, where he was the son and he was hysterical. And Cabin Pressure, which is my single favorite thing he's ever done, and which he is, like, genuinely great in.
Hysterically funny.
He is so fun. I mean, they're all brilliant. Roger Allam is brilliant. Stephanie Cole, John Finnemore, Anthony Head obviously is brilliant. But
Tony,
like, he's just so perfect in that part, and it's just such a him role, I feel like, and this show is just so good. It's so incredibly well acted and well written, and like, I'm devoted to it. It makes me laugh, it makes me cry, it makes me everything. I just love it. So that's the main thing I've been listening to.
So I really haven't watched anything. I haven't watched any movies recently. I couldn't tell you why. I just got really into gaming again. I got my hands on a PS5. First try. So a hair flip. So I started playing Death Stranding, which is like, it's a movie game, you know, like lots of long cutscenes. But I got sucked in. It's God, it's good. It's a little weird because Guillermo del Toro does a face for it, but he's voiced by somebody else.
Oh, that's bizarre.
So it's like, it's Guillermo del Toro walking around, and you're like, oh, that's my guy. And then it's just some other person. And I'm like, that's not my guy. You can't lie to me. Mads Mikkelsen is not officially shown up yet. I've seen him on and off, but I'm like, I'm waiting. I know you're there, Mads. Norman Reedus is there, so, you know, that's cool. Let's see. So I've been playing a bunch of other stuff. And then, literally today before the episode, I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna start watching Succession. So Amanda, my roommate, and I watched the first episode, and we were, like, spellbound the whole time. And we just kept looking at each other like, wait, are they really doing that right now? I know a okay amount about Succession and it's kind of overarching beats just due to, like, online osmosis and my Succession friends telling me things. But like watching it really is a whole other experience. There were a surprising amount of like, I'm startled they said that laughs that came out from me that I was not expecting. But we both were like, oh shit, we have to keep watching this, huh? So excited for my Succession journey to fully begin.
So good.
Fuck that old man.
Awful, right?
And God, he sucks so bad. I will say, here's my first Succession opinion, is that, like, everyone plays Greg off to be an idiot, right? Because he is. Let's get down to it. Kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
But he does make a power play, like, out the gate.
Yeah.
In the car with Logan being like, hey, like, I know my granddad still has, like, a seat on the board or something. If I could get that, you know, and that could be me, you know, maybe that, like, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, he's playing the game, and he's playing the game from the start. Like, he's a stoner loser idiot, but, like, he's a stoner loser idiot who kind of knows what he's doing. So I'm rooting for him to become worse, and I'm rooting for him to win, I've decided. I know this isn't like Game of Thrones or something where like someone's gonna like win the throne or whatever, but it's kind of Game of Thrones because I do think one of them is gonna win, and I am rooting for it to be cousin Greg. I wasn't sure going into it, but now I'm like, no, it's Greg. And I do like Connor. I also, because I'm like, you don't suck, and you gave your dad sourdough starter and he doesn't appreciate it, but I would appreciate it. I get it, Kang.
As a long-standing Alan Ruck fan, obviously, from my years as, like, well, Ferris Bueller was still my favorite movie, I shouldn't say. My years with Ferris Bueller was my favorite movie. Connor, every time he's just up on screen, I'm like, it's Connor!
Yeah,
when he becomes
and I found
slightly
it, like,
less appealing, I'm like, it's Connor!
I'm a conhead, yeah. Mm-hmm. Amanda was like, he's the only one of these kids that doesn't suck. And I'm like, yeah. There's a... Well, we'll, you know, I anticipate at some point he will probably suck, but, like, the initial intro of him where, like, the kids are all vying for something, and Ezra, I'm sorry, I'm almost done.
It's okay.
And
this is just what being on the Discord is like when everybody descends into Succession hell.
I'm sorry.
I don't care.
Where Logan, he's trying to figure out what all of them want so he can get them to sign that stupid paper or whatever. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want? And he's like, whatever they want, basically. Mm-hmm. That, like, he doesn't want anything for himself. He just is, like, willing to align with his siblings. I was like, all right, you're in my good graces for now, sir. Mm-hmm. So those are my initial thoughts, having just watched the first episode, are fuck that old man. I want Cousin Greg to get worse and win. And Connor's cool. Also, damn... Tom really comes directly out the gate with "Would you kiss me if I asked you to?" Like, I've seen the gifs, but like the context of them being there, and he sees Greg and like beelines to him and immediately starts ragging on his ass and is like, "Would you kiss me if I asked you to?" I'm like, oh my god, this man just showed up. Like 10 minutes ago.
And he pushes it, and he's just like, oh, he's kidding, but would you if I asked you to? And Greg is just there like,
it's like, Jesus,
what is happening to me?
Love Matthew McFadden. I think he's the best. Love him. I don't know if I can support Tom in his endeavors, but I love the actor enough that I'm like, we'll see where this takes us.
I knew it would always end this way, Maddie, with you as the Greg supporter and me as the Tom supporter. I don't actually support Tom, but I also do. If that makes sense, as it does with any other
it's like that one Tumblr text post that was like, when Tom is losing, he's a woman, it's misogyny, and when he's winning, he's a white man and needs to be taken down a peg. I think that's how I'm going to end up feeling. Because when they were like, oh, I think we'll put you in as talking to Shiv as like, you'll be the boss of Tom. I was like, oh no, he's trying so hard though. And then he started ragging on Greg, and I was like, get bent.
Yeah.
So,
delightful.
Yeah, excited to be a Succession guy, I guess.
You all have brainworms, and I love that for you.
I know. I ended up on Succession Tumblr on like a random whim, and I think that was what finally turned the page, because seeing the way that people talk about Succession was so funny. I was like, I gotta get in on this. I gotta get in on the ground floor here, because this is something I've noticed, is there's a way that people, specifically on Tumblr, talk about pieces of media that you would not expect to be fandomified, that is particular and universal. And it's like the Succession people and the Saw people, like Saw the movies.
Yeah.
And like slasher horror people, they all talk about it in the same way, and it's so bizarre. And this is not an insult, this is me being like, I love it. Yeah. I love the way y'all talk about this thing that generally is not fandomized. It's so good. I feel like I'm doing like an anthropological study. So I started watching Succession. That was my big thing, is I know Ben will eventually listen to this episode. I'm not going to tell him that I started watching Succession. I'm going to wait for him to listen to the episode.
Amazing.
Because he's been like, Maddie, please. Maddie, I'm dying. And I'm like, oh, I'll watch it eventually. So
you're like, cool.
Ben, I started watching Succession. This is my message to you. I started watching Succession.
See, this is like me with Cabin Pressure, but like with literally maybe
I do want to listen to Cabin Pressure.
1/15 of the amount of people who listen / watch to watch it. And so I'm just like, I make my mom listen to it, and that's what I do.
Yeah. I've been meaning to listen to it for years, so eventually I will get there. So that's me.
Yeah. Okay. I also I was like, had to stop and do that, like, holy shit, what have I been doing for 2 weeks? The answer is, I literally don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it just goes by you, and you wake up and you're like, huh?
I mean, I am caught up on the current season of Star Trek Discovery, which helped. I don't know if you've been watching Disco this season.
I have not.
I think I've reached this point where I'm just like, I have accepted that Disco is never going to bring back, like, the elements of old Star Trek that I love, and I have decided to just, like, accept that and love it anyway. Also, Saru is, like, flirting with the Vulcan president, and it's really important.
Yes!
Like, she's fucking looking at Doug Jones and all that weird makeup going, y'all have me some of that.
Yes, me
and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
As an inveterate monster fucker, particularly when the monsters are played by Doug Jones. He's just bendy, okay? What am I supposed to do with my...
He's just bendy.
I started playing Dragon Age 2 again. I could not tell you why I decided I needed to play Dragon Age 2 again.
It's a good video game.
It's just a good video game. And I was like,
maybe... James?
It's a good video
game. It's a good video, James.
I was like, this time, I am going to romance Fenris.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like...
Did you do that?
I haven't gotten very far.
Hmm.
I went and picked up his quest, like, right away. I was like, I'm gonna go get him. And I saw him and I was like, oh, fuck, I love Fenris so much. And I was like, I have to go recruit Anders. And then Anders showed up and I was like, fuck!
That's how they get you! That's how they get you! Every time!
Anyway, my hawk has 2 hands. And
yeah, I'm so mad that you can't date them both.
Dumb
it's
that you
ridiculous.
Can't be polyamorous. There is a polyam mod for Dragon Age 2, but like not for console.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So yeah, but technically you can get a polyam mod. And somebody was like, "Oh, like have you thought about like what about like I don't know, like Meryl or something?" And I'm like, "I love Meryl." But
she's
also,
a lesbian.
Meryl's a lesbian. I've only ever romanced Meryl as Girl Hawk. I don't know. Meryl's a lesbian.
Meryl's a lesbian. I do love Isabella. I will date her as a guy. Isabella. Like she's as bisexual as me. But
yes, I will date Isabella.
I also see like Anders is gay. Fenris and Isabella are bi, and Meryl's a lesbian. Like that's how it works in my head.
Yeah. Nothing for you, Sebastian. Good night.
And Sebastian is himself, you know?
Yeah.
He's doing his own thing.
He sure is doing his own thing. But yeah. Oh, no, Maddie recommended a book to me.
Yes.
Which is
last time we recorded, I talked about this book.
Which was Theft of Swords, which is the volume 1 of the
something like that. Rivia?
Yeah, it's RIYRIA, which is like classic fantasy. How the
fantasy
fuck
bullshit? Like
nonsense?
they're never supposed to say it out loud because it's a book. You know?
By Michael J. Sullivan. Which I have just been like tearing handfuls off of him eating. It's so.
It's
and I was
so
talking
good,
I was
right?
talking to Leia about it, and I was like, some parts of this are like for instance, like the gender politics are a little like.
It's some of it is typical fantasy.
Some
bullshit.
of it is like typical.
Not that excuses it, but like some of it is typical fantasy bullshit.
Funny? It just doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't bug me. I think it's because like there are certain things where I'm like, yeah, this is just kind of like this is kind of just how this kind of book is sometimes.
Yeah, this is just like this genre is just kind of like that sometimes. And like should I be kind of like mad about that? Yeah, maybe, but like you and I both grew up on that high fantasy stuff, and it was one of those things where it's like, I've decided to just put... It's like that fucking article that's like, woman turns off feminism brain for 30 minutes to watch a Say Yes to the Dress episode. Like, sometimes I gotta turn off my higher function to enjoy a good story.
Yeah.
And like, that doesn't mean it's right or good, but like...
Also, like...
But sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's okay.
I don't have to be doing, like, fucking media criticism every minute of every day. Sometimes I can just read a fucking book.
And everything else about that series, or that book, I've only read the first section. I don't know if you've moved on to the second half of that.
Oh, I super have. I'm like...
Okay, then I need to catch up.
I won't say... I am 90% done with the first volume.
Yes. Excellent. Okay, so I'll catch up. But like so much about it is so good. Yeah. The relationship between the main two guys is so nice. Like, I love them. They love each other.
They do
and
love
it's like
each other.
not even an issue. Like, it's not one of those things where you're like, oh, no homo. It's just like, no, like they're partners, and that's great. And I don't know. I like the world building. I think there's definitely some, like, this is a Jesus metaphor thing going on.
Yeah,
but
I will say, like, later on it gets a little bit more into the, like, haha, like, religion, politics is fucked up angle, which is fun.
Yeah.
Which I'm enjoying the shit out of. Mostly just, like, I have always been and will always be a sucker for the sort of those two guys.
Yeah, it is the epitome of those two guys series.
It is. And they're two guys, and they're really good. They're really good individually. They're really good together. They're both, like, classic D&D character archetypes, but, like, more interesting than that. And reading these books is just making me, like, I'm, like, chewing on the walls with how much I want to go play D&D.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're, like, if you like high fantasy but want something with a little, just a little different, I think they're super worth a read.
Yeah. They're very
thick.
Double.
But they are very readable. I found, like, even just listening to them, my rental from the library is about to run out, but that's fine. I have the physical copy, so it's okay. I find they're very easy to just put on and just listen to while I'm doing other stuff, and I'm not missing anything. It's very accessible. Like, if you want to get into high fantasy, I think that these are a really good entry point.
Yeah. And, like, it also, like, if you grew up, like Maddie said, like, reading a lot of just kind of boilerplate, like, post-Tolkien high fantasy stuff, and you want it to be, like, have, like, 90% less weird objectification of women in it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not perfect, but they're whole fuck of a lot better than a lot of the weird shit I was reading when I was 14.
Yeah. It's a much fresher face to... super tried and true genre.
Yeah, in a way that is, it's like, I find very, like, easily digestible, but, like, parenthetical affectionate.
Yeah. I'm so glad you like it.
I'm going, this is fucking gangbuster. I literally was just like, I was sitting at work today and it was slow and I was like, I want to be doing literally nothing else and just whipping out my phone and finishing reading this book right now.
Yay!
Also, I have to say it is fucking hilarious that the, like, main, like, mysterious wizard dude character's fucking name is Ezra.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Every single time.
I forgot in between readings and I was like, fuck?
You're like, what? There's a lot of... Because he's very much like, alright, what's this bitch done now? Kind of a character. And I'm like, yep. There it is.
I love him. He's so good.
There he is.
His introduction is incredible.
So fucking cool. Be the fucking crotchety wizard, old like ancient wizard man.
Yeah,
You to see
like
in the world.
fucking 900-year-old wizard or something.
Yeah. Who just critiques everyone's grammar because of linguistic drift over 900 years.
I love when they were like, nobody talks like that anymore. And he's like, oh, is that why you all talk like peasants?
So good.
They were like, yeah, man, because no one talks like you do anymore. Leave us alone.
You dickweed.
And he was like, fine, whatever. I'll talk like you nerds. So like, good. So okay.
Me trying to communicate, like, me trying to give fucking directions to the bathroom to William the Conqueror.
Jesus.
Anyway, okay. Are we gonna talk about fucking in movies?
Helena, do you want to finish your what we sneep?
Yeah, really quick.
Do you feel like
I think I can do
recovered?
It. Sort of.
Okay.
I watched Night on Earth, which is the Jim Jarmusch taxi movie. It's the one that cuts between 4 different cities. That on the same night of 4 different taxi drivers in 5 different cities: New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Rome, and Helsinki. No, not Helsinki. God damn, my brain's left my body. Anyway, it's fun. It was an interesting little movie. Lots of good actors in it. Good to see them. Winona Ryder, Butch Goals. I rewatched The Matrix, which was an amazing experience. I had a lot of shrimp emotions. I was devastated to remember how much of a crush I had on literally every single fucking actor in this movie and how gay that made me.
They're all so attractive.
I had a crush on Keanu. I had a crush on Carrie-Anne Moss. I had a crush on the actress who played Switch. I had a crush on the actor who played Mouse. I had a crush on the actor who played APOC. And the Switch one especially is like, Helena, come on. How did you not? When I was watching this at 12, and it's like, you have a crush on the third lesbian that's appeared in this movie. Excellent, great. But particularly too, like, I had it really bad for Keanu in this movie, and I'd forgotten how bad. But he's just so hot in this movie. It's just unreal. To the point where I was even, like, really defensive of his acting to my dad. I was like, actually, he's really good in The Matrix. And then he's like, you know, fine. He's Keanu. He's not, like, a genius in it. But I was like, no, he's, like, really good in The Matrix. But I was just like, no, he's just really hot in it. Also, it makes me emotional. I rewatched The Iron Giant, which is a classic, perfect movie. It made me cry. As always, I love it. I love that Brad Bird makes animated movies that are actually movies and not just, like, things with boring staging and bad dialogue. I watched Mitchells vs. the Machines, which is also very enjoyable. I watched The To-Do List with Leia because we have a Bill Hader problem that we are dealing with in the best way that we know how. Please let us be alone in this difficult time. I watched
I support you both.
The Lost Daughter last night, actually, with Olivia Colman. That Maggie Gyllenhaal adapted and directed from the Elena Ferrante novel.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was very interesting. Olivia Colman was, of course, just like amazing in it. And I recommend it. It's on Netflix if you can watch it. If, you have feelings and thoughts about motherhood and mothers, though, I just want to let you know that this is going to cover that topic pretty extensively. And I, like, one more thing is that my mom is coming in April to New York, as I mentioned last time. And I think last time we recorded, I mentioned, we were thinking about going to get tickets to See Company, and now I can say for sure that has actually happened. We have tickets to See Company in April, which I am very, very excited about. Especially now because I have watched the 2008 revival production of Company with Ralph Sparza on YouTube, where it sits for me. And so now I've had the chance to, like, get a handle on the script and the actual layout of the play, which is always fun. I was really, like, I have really mixed feelings about the overall production because I was like, am I going to be one of those people who really likes the conceit that they're all playing their own instruments, or am I really gonna hate that? And I'm kind of like, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it either. And I've just come to realize that I'm just really picky when it comes to orchestration, and I think that there was just something about the orchestration that didn't do it for me because I'm such a big fan of original Broadway. But like, individual actors were all like fantastic, and I'm like really excited to see it with the cast that they have on Broadway now too. So that'll be something that I can report back on once I see that many months from now. But yeah, that's what I've seen and what I hope to see. I could talk way more about the to-do list, but I have a feeling that I might be able to just in a few seconds, actually.
Sick. So we don't have a lot of thoughts written down here. I think a fun warm-up here would be worst sex scene experiences, like movie sex scene experiences. Mine is not the worst. Like, I don't have any ones that are particularly like, oh man, I was really uncomfortable doing this. But one of the earliest times that our friend Leo and I hung out, just the two of us, we were like, hey, let's watch The Handmaiden. Both of us really want to see it. Don't know a lot about it. And there is obviously a sex scene in that movie that is a little longer, and it's not a bad one. I think it's pretty well done. But when you're hanging out with someone you don't know very well, and you're not expecting it, it's a long scene. You're really just kind of sitting there. To the point where, like, sometimes we'll be like, hey, remember when we did that? Yeah, that was wild. Anyway, love that movie though.
Great movie.
But that is like, yeah, it's so good. I actually have not seen it since. But because that experience was very, very memorable. Bonded our friendship, I think, forever. But that is, I think, the most standout moment for you, where I was like, man, this is going, huh? All right.
I think my most awkward sex scene experience was seeing Atonement in a theater with my parents and having to sort of just like deal with my adolescent feelings about the library sex scene in Atonement. Which were, I don't remember if I understood that it was because I was gay or not, but I do remember thinking like, I just remember really, really distinctly sitting in a movie theater and just being like, feeling like, oh boy, I really wish I wasn't sitting next to my mom right now. My mom, who
understandable, I think.
God love my mother. Big fan. Who actually like tried pretty hard to ensure that I had like a reasonable like sex education and stuff, because fuck knows I wasn't gonna get a very good one from my fucked up puritanical public school. Fuck you, Kamiak High School. And all the, Mormon hand wringing or whatever. But who I will never forget turning to me while we were watching Bull Durham on television, and my mother clearly not understanding the amount of sort of just like vaguely awkward like 80s fantasy sex scenes I had encountered by this time in my life, and going, sex is like a thing for adults, right? And me being like, yeah, Mom, yeah. I don't really remember what Bull Durham is about. I just remember that conversation.
It's about baseball, isn't it?
I think it's about baseball. I mostly remember my mom being like sort of seized by this like weird parental urge to be like, you're too young to have sex.
That is such a funny way to phrase that sentence.
Well, I think maybe
know that sex is a thing for adults, right? What?
Well, I mean...
if I didn't understand that, I do now!
Possibly the reason could be that Susan Sarandon is in that film. Could that be possibly the reason? Because that would be a reason for me.
I'm not going to say it didn't have anything to do with that. And, like, the thing about the like, sex... like, the sexual content in Bull Durham is that it's very, like, light-hearted and, like, sweet. And also, like, the main characters are, like, visibly both very into one another. Like, they are two adults who, like, want to have sex with each other because they're, like, you know, like, you're hot and I have feelings for you.
Right. How old? Okay, can we clarify, how old were you?
I don't know.
But, like, that will impact how funny that comment is.
I think the thing is that I was definitely, like, older than I would have thought I would still be getting comments like that from my mom.
Okay, great. So, like, later teens, maybe.
I mean, I don't know that it was... I would say I was at least 15.
Okay. Because that makes it way funnier.
It was, yeah. The key thing here is that it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, Mom, like, I've had to do, like, awkward adolescent sex ed, like, 3 times minimum by now.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like,
also,
you
like,
get that at, like,
I don't know
12,
what you thought was in all of those
like,
Dragon Riders
sure.
of Pern novels you were lending me, but I think you just forgot about all of the ravishment fantasies. Because there's a lot of people fucking in those books, and they're, like, because, like, you know, you're psychically bonded to your dragon, and your dragon is horny, and then you just end up banging the, like, psychic bonded rider of whoever, you know, like, your dragons are fucking, you're also fucking. Like, this is a like, repeated plot point in those books.
Are you sure that's not Pacific Rim?
I mean, no, because these were written in the 80s.
Ah, yes. Well, now we see where Guillermo del Toro was inspired.
I'm not saying I don't know where Guillermo del Toro got it from.
Yeah, it's the plot of many of a Pac Rim fic, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we just keep reinventing the
reinventing the sex wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I have a very good memory. It seemed to me that I always had the kind of luck where my parents or parental figures present would walk in on a movie or television show I was watching at the worst possible moment. And I do have a distinct memory of watching Rocky Horror Picture Show with my friends at my friend's house. I had already seen it multiple times at this point because, of course, it was the first rated R movie I ever saw. I was 8 years old when I saw it for the first time. I never had to talk with anybody during a movie, but we were watching this one, and it was the scene where Frankenfurter is seducing both Janet and Brad, but specifically it was the scene where he was seducing Brad and succeeding. And at the time, my friend's grandmother was staying with them in the house, and so this was the part where
this is going.
That's going to happen.
Oh, Helena.
I mean, I don't really remember what the reaction was, just so much as we were watching it, and then she came into the room, and so did my friend's mom. And Frankenfurter was, you know, giving Brad a blowjob. And, you know, that's just how it is. To be fair, it's in silhouette, right? So...
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
so,
you know.
it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be raining.
Just really viscerally remembered watching... I don't know why they didn't just show us the Baz Luhrmann Romeo plus Juliet in freshman year of high school.
Right,
and instead
showed us sexier.
Showed us the Franco Zeffirelli Romeo and Juliet. And then the teacher had to stand in front of the television when the young actress playing Juliet was topless.
I think I saw both.
There's no titties in the Franco Zeffirelli, in the fucking Baz Luhrmann version.
There's titties.
Right, but I think they assume...
titties. Also, no, I would like to note, belonging to an actress who was not old enough to go see that R-rated movie when it came out.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That is the lore. I mean, it's not the lore, it's the truth. It's the truth about what happened.
No, but my like worst sex scene, just like in terms of like grading films, my personal award for worst sex scene that I have ever seen, is actually a double award, both of which are go to blue is the warmest color. One for each of the times that I fell asleep during the marathon sex scene in the middle of that film in a theater.
I've never seen that movie because I think we were living together by the time you went to go see that movie, and I remember you coming back and being like, I fell asleep, and I was like, excellent, I'm not going to see this one.
It is so bad.
And then you came back a second time where we're like, I fell asleep again, and I was like, okay, I'm extremely never going to see this one.
God. The only 2 movies I've ever fallen asleep during are Twilight and Pocahontas 2 Journey to the New World.
I don't think I've ever fallen asleep during a movie, especially, like, unless I put it on knowing, like, I might fall asleep, like, I'm gonna fall asleep to this or whatever.
Right, yeah. That's different.
I've especially never fallen asleep in a theater, but, like, I've never fallen I just, like...
I
don't know what it is. As a sleepy bitch, I don't know what it is.
I don't know. That may be the only time I have ever fallen asleep in a movie.
Which really says something,
well,
huh?
I've fallen asleep at the opera multiple times, but, like, live, I have fallen asleep during live opera more than once in my life.
Oh, you know.
I don't know what it is. I think it's that it was in languages I couldn't understand.
Right.
I mean, in fairness
I
to
fell asleep
Twilight...
during Turn of the Screw. I fell asleep during the opera version of Turn of the Screw that was put on in the fucking cathedral building. Well, it's not a cathedral because that's not the seat of a bishop. Anyway, the big fucking church building at Oberlin College. Which, like, I think was because I had really, really bad unmedicated depression at the time. But also, like, I absolutely did sack the fuck out during Turn of the fucking Screw.
There are times when I've been in a theater and I've wanted to be asleep. But
that's different.
And also, for Twilight, it was one of my first midnight premieres, too, to be fair. And I was I had a big rush of adrenaline.
Okay, that's legit.
And for Pocahontas 2, I had jet lag because I had just flown in from Paris, like, a few days before. And I was with the same friend, actually, who I watched Rocky Horror with that one time. And another friend of ours, and we were watching it at a house that they were house sitting at. And they had a huge collection of Disney movies, these people, because they had small children with them. And we were like, what out of this gigantic collection of Disney films, what one movie should we pick to watch? And
you picked Pocahontas
2, and I was like, I had nothing to do with this decision. I would just like to put that down for the record. I would not have chosen this. And I was like, if that's what we really want to do, I'm probably going to fall asleep. I'm going to be real with you. And so I did.
And you stayed true to your word.
Don't know what happens in that movie. I mean, I know historically what happens, but
I don't know if you need to know.
I've
never seen it, but I read the wiki on it once, and I was like, "Yeah, this sounds right."
Oh boy, sure. Yeah, it's certainly a film that was made.
Yeah. Anyway, we did as mentioned, we did the summer blockbuster movie episode, and that ended up turning into a, like, why are movies so sexless these days? And I don't remember if we talked about in that moment the, like, push online that, like, movies shouldn't have sex scenes anymore.
I don't think we talked about it very much.
But we should. It's like, whenever it comes up, it's like, there's far too many sex scenes in movies these days. Right. Why do we have them? They serve no purpose.
They're unnecessary.
They're unnecessary. Right. It's like, they're in them because sex is a part of life for some people.
Yeah.
Most people, a lot of people. And that's what stories are about, is life for people, and that's why they put them in there. I mean, it's not really any more complicated than that, but yet the argument goes on inexplicably. So
I think for a lot of people, the idea is, like, what they are trying to say is, like, they're just putting sex in there to put sex in there, and to, like, and ergo it probably turns into, like, and they're sexualizing women or whatever.
Yeah, well, sure, that definitely happens.
And that definitely happens, right? But, like, to put the full blanket over, like, every sex scene in a movie is bad because there's no point to it is, like, man, I don't know. You could just say that you are uncomfortable doing sex scenes in movies, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, there are stories like the one around Blue is the Warmest Color, for instance, where the people involved in it were deeply, deeply uncomfortable filming it, right? And those are the kinds of that kind of gross thing, and that Last Tango in Paris situation with Bertolucci, like, and Maria Schneider, like that, that stuff, like, where that's the kind of thing that I feel we need to be criticized. I mean, it's not like, it's like that somebody was like, oh, we need to have ethical art in terms of the kind of stories or morals or messages that they're telling in the thing. And it's like, no, ethical art is art where you're treating the people who are involved ethically, and everybody involved is being treated ethically and respect.
Yeah, it is made ethically.
Yes, exactly. So that's the kind of thing that I worry about, and
yeah, because I noticed someone at some point we were started writing this document typed out, like, Hays Code, and that got lost in the shuffle. But I just think about how close we are to slipping down the slope of like okay, so the content of a piece of media must be ethical. Where do you draw that line, right? Mm-hmm. I've never seen a Serbian film, and I don't intend to, because just reading the Wikipedia article, it just sounds real gross, and it makes me feel sick just reading it. And I have a pretty high tolerance for a lot of stuff. Yeah. Can't watch that one. But that movie is very specifically like a political commentary. Mm-hmm. Is the specific content of it pretty dire? Yeah. If you don't know about this movie, just a general warning for everything under the sun if you go read about it on Wikipedia. But it's a political commentary about like the state of Serbia at the time, and like the government, and what was, like, a topic I'm not very educated about and therefore cannot speak to. But, like, is that unethical art then if they are using this kind of gross out horror to make a point?
Yeah.
Does that get cut?
I don't know, dog. Like, I don't know if we, like, everybody out here fucking trying to relitigate the, like, artistic merit portion of fucking pornography laws.
Yeah.
Like, one, go read a fucking Wikipedia article on the history. And two, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know. I think for me what it boils down to is like, nobody's saying, like, it's like just like be uncomfortable with stuff and be comfortable admitting like, yeah, I just don't like this thing, or it like makes me uncomfortable. But the idea
I feel weird watching other people have sex in movies. Yeah,
like, okay,
I get it, dude. That's okay.
Sure, and you don't have to. And if you want to like
just don't watch them.
That don't
that's
have
right.
sexual content in it, like that's fine. And if you want to be like, oh yes, I would like to avoid movies that have sexual content, so I would like to know when they have sexual content, which, like, conveniently
that's what
for
Does
you,
the Dog
that's
Die is.
One of the things that, I mean, and that too, like, that's like one of the things that they fucking warn for,
yes,
dog.
True. That is true.
Like,
they literally warned for that.
Normal ass, like, MPAA bullshit thing and be like, yeah, there's fucking in this. Guess I'll skip.
Not for me. That's okay.
No, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Go nuts. But like, on, part 60 badillion or whatever of just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's like morally bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about I've talked about Brokeback Mountain so many times on this fucking podcast because it was a movie that had a great impact on me when I was a teen.
Yeah.
And the sex scene of that movie like really stuck with me. And like, there's obviously goofs about like, did they really fuck without lube on that mountain? Which, like, yeah, fair. But like, I don't know, that expression of gay, like, sexuality and tenderness really spoke to me in a way that I like wasn't ready to conceptualize yet. And was important that movie had all those discussions. And it wasn't just about like, yeah, they are in love with each other or whatever, and they can't be together even though they love each other. It was also like, it's hard for us to not be able to be together because like, I have sexual needs.
Yeah.
Like
I want
and
to
I can't
have sex with you because
I'm an
adult human man who is sexually attracted to you.
Yeah, like, and we can't do that. So like, what do I do? Like, that's an important part of the conversation too.
I feel similarly about Andrew Hay's Weekend too, because I actually didn't see until I was in college, because that's when it came out. It was in 2011.
So need to see that.
Please watch it. There are many, not many. There are like a handful of sex scenes in that movie. Very like relatively, I imagine, realistic sex scenes that are also like really like emotional and feel very connected to the characters in their particular situation. And it was like a really big deal to watch that at I was like 19, 20, because I hadn't seen a movie where sex scenes were treated with that, especially sex scene between two men or two women, that was treated with that level of like it meant something in the same way that sex seemed to mean for people in, like when the couples were straight in movies. And it was like, it can be really, if you're at the right place for it, it can be really empowering to see that. Not like empowering, but that's maybe the kind of too weird or strong a word, just kind of like affirming and helpful in a way. Even if the general tinge of that movie, I think, is sad. It's not depressing in any way. I think it's just, it's moving. There's still, like, that thing of seeing something that is reassuring, or, I hesitate to say, because it's not so much about seeing myself represented either, but, like, you know what I mean. Basically just what you were saying.
I don't know, man. I think there's something pretty, like, sometimes just a movie that's, like, basically has characters figure out that, like, gay sex is great and they'd like to have more of it, is, like, I don't know, as somebody who it took me a long fucking time to figure out that, like, gay sex is great and I'd like to have some, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, empowering is the word I just used, which, like, but it is. It is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was like,
to just be like, right, and that says something too, that we feel weird to be like, to put empowering on sex, because there's this whole, God, you could get to such a bigger, deeper conversation about the way, specifically, I will say the United States. I can't speak to other places because this is the only place I live.
Big old US.
Yeah, US/Western, I guess, but mostly I will say US. Like, the way we talk about sex is, like, so... It's just so much. There's so many different parts and pieces moving there. But, like... But as you said, Helena, like, a lot of people have it. Yeah. A lot of people have it a lot. And not everybody. And not everybody's interested in that for various reasons. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is still a thing that many, many people do. Mm-hmm.
Or would like to do.
Or would like to do. Yeah. Or, whatever. And it drives a lot of different things. And I think to say otherwise can sometimes, I think there's this idea that, like, sex is, it's, like, a baser instinct or whatever. Like, it's, like, crude. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be, though. I feel like that's so simplistic. Well, and I think... or it can be! And there's nothing wrong with that either. I don't know, man. I just...
It's such a fine line. Like, I feel like, yes, my original point about... cinema is art, art is life, life is art. I'm Martin Scorsese. Cinema is life. Life is important.
Put your
people
iPhone down.
Life. I am Martin Scorsese. He told me to say that.
The voice
this whole time I've secretly been.
Hey man, big fan of your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, so exciting to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I can't do a Martin Scorsese impression.
Turn Martin, turn on your camera so we can see your magnificent eyebrow.
No, I can't do this for you. I'm very, very shy. There's like, that is all true, but also, like, there's a different, just because we're showing sex on screen does not mean it just has to be objectifying, but it can also be, like, also sexy is good too. Like, it can also be good to just have something that's sexy and be like, and it's there because it's sexy. Because that's also, like, it's also, like, that kind of argument where people are like, ugh, why is this in the movie? It's just, like, this cool thing. And it's like, because it's cool. Like, it's there because it's cool. It doesn't have to serve a purpose. It's cool. That's why it's there. That's why this set piece. That's why this particular camera work. That's why this lighting. That's why this music here. That's why sex scene. Because it's sexy and cool, and we should be able to, like, put all kinds of emotions and styles into a work of art. And if that includes sexy, if that includes the emotion of horniness, then very well, so it should be. That it is very much something that Hollywood and other, cinemas across the world, but largely Hollywood, have, exploited and used to objectify people, and it can be used very poorly, but then so can, like, really saccharine, biopics and sob stories can be used to address certain issues that are very important and make an entire country, entire generation think a certain way about something that they shouldn't, because it's presented.
Anything can be propaganda, man.
Anything can be propaganda. I'm talking very
We're not
generally
immune to propaganda, and anything can be propaganda.
As I don't like it. There's just literally so many things I could think about to, like, to address that. I mean, that movie, The Blind Side, got a fucking Oscar nomination.
Jesus Christ.
For Best Picture! For Best Picture. You know,
history will not be kind to us.
The Green Book, the Green Book, God, drop the
Green Book.
It's cleaner. Green Book is that did win Best Picture not even like 2 years ago.
I remember
3 years
just
ago.
like, so mad. So mad about that one.
Furious. That was the year, of course, that the favorite won, lost, actually, Best Original Screenplay to also Green Book.
Fucking Green Book.
Makes me kind of want to throw myself into a volcano a little bit.
Like, I know we are rapidly approaching Oscar season. I know every time that we do, the three of us sit on our little podcast and are like, I hate the Oscars, but I do. I think they're so dumb. I think they're nonsense. I think that they don't have a finger on the pulse of anything about cinema. I think I am going to start biting.
Possibly have a pulse. Sorry,
Shit.
I'm really hungry. And it's making me vicious.
No, but like they deserve it. They're not going to hear us. No, if they did, they fucking deserve it.
Like, 200 of shit.
Okay, whatever. But also, like, literally the year that Do the Right Thing came out, Driving Miss Daisy won Best Picture. The year that Do the Right Thing came out, Driving Miss Daisy won Best Picture, which was a joke I couldn't even... It would be audacious to write into a Seinfeld episode.
Every time we do an Oscars look back, I feel like literally every episode we've done where we've looked at the Oscars in previous years, we've been like, that's wild that all these movies that won this year are movies we don't talk about anymore. And all the movies that are cultural standouts from those years were either completely snubbed or lost. Like, at the beginning of the episode, we were like, it's funny that we keep doing things where we'll start on a topic and then go on to an entirely different topic, and the episode's about that. I guess this episode's about how the Oscars suck so bad, but like... And I just don't know. I can't put a pretty little bow on it, nor can I put a bow on the topic of sex in movies, because there's just so many different aspects and layers to it. Like, we're a little, like, hour and a half movie podcast who can't cover this whole thing in that long of a time. But, like,
that length, too.
And that's by accident. You know, we started as an hour-long podcast. Mm-hmm. That's a funny joke. I don't...
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, like, we often don't necessarily talk in depth about the idea of movie as art, capital A art, even though all three of us obviously view movies as capital A art. And art is, in general, like, so hard to define. I remember I had a conversation with your mom about this once, actually, Helena, where we were talking about, like, capital A art. No, it was a good conversation. I didn't, like, get in a fight with your mom.
So
I think Helena was just like, uh-oh.
Like, I mean, I've just had this conversation with my family, too, so I'm just having flashbacks. Continue.
No, but it was an interesting conversation where, like, how do you define, like, art and what makes good art? And I think my argument that I still stand by was, like, I don't know if you can. Because art is inherently so personal, both for the person making it and the person viewing it. I think all the time about that comic, and I'm sorry that I won't be able to credit it because I'm just pulling this off the dome, that's like, it's like a 3-panel comic or something where they're looking at a picture of, like, Mary and baby Jesus, and it's like, this is art. Yes, yeah, and like, what are you looking at? Like, I don't know, you're just supposed to, like, get it or something. And it's like, okay, well, pick me up because I can see it better. And the adult picks up the child, and they're reflecting the portrait exactly. And it's just like, yeah, like, that's it. This doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm not saying anything coherent, but, like,
no, it's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah.
And to tie it back in, I think that is where the, like, sex in movies comes in, too, is, like, as we've said many times, some people just don't like it, and that's okay, but, like, I think to say that it shouldn't be in there at all is, like, yeah, but to some people that means something, or they're using it to express something, or, like, somebody's watching it, and it speaks to them.
Or it just turns
them
on.
I don't know... or it just turns them on, or like that's just part of a couple. That's a part of a story, even if it isn't like it's not a metaphor for something or whatever. Like I don't know. Sometimes people in relationships have sex, like, and that's part of the movie. Is like, yeah, they had sex. You know, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes it is a metaphor, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything, and both of them are all right.
Yeah, and it's fucking like. The question of, like, you know, building a romantic relationship with somebody, like, and, like, you know, like, am I going to have sex with this person or not, is, like, for lots of people who have, like, that's, like, a pretty... That happens to a lot of people. Like, the sex havers are the majority. Just by numbers. As, like, a value-neutral statement. People who want to do the boning are, like, a are a fucking majority on this planet. Which is why there's, like, you know, continues to be more humans on this planet.
Right.
Because we keep having sex with each other. But, like, I just, this is sort of this idea that, like, we've got a whole bunch of people on the internet, like, telling each other that, like, sexuality, that basically just, like, making it out to be, like, sexuality is somehow not, like, a normal part of the human experience. And therefore is, like, something that should be, like, that is something, like depictions of it are therefore, like, inherently suspect.
It's so puritanical.
It's, like, fucked up! It's puritanical,
right?
And it's, like, it's
and
fucked
it's, like,
up, and it's actively fucking people up.
Right.
And it's actively fucking isolated queer kids up, because, you know, all of us isolated, depressed queer kids are doing all of our socializing online.
Yeah.
And then, like,
even before there's a pandemic.
Even before there was a fucking global pandemic keeping us all blocked in our stupid little internet boxes. And, like, it fucking sucks to have grown up with, like, the lingering attitudes of, like, haha, gay sex is funny and bad. And be like, fucking log on to tungle.hell or whatever, and be confronted with 16-year-olds being like, I don't know, man, the concept of, like, wanting to have gay sex seems sus. I'm like, what year is it?
Yeah. Especially when we went through the whole situation where, and not to say that this doesn't occur, of course, because it does, where it's like, and I think we've talked about this before, you know, the amount of fan fiction that is like, slash fiction that's written by women is because women like to objectify men having sex, and that's the only reason that any woman writes fan fiction that has, like, shipping, like, sex scenes between two men. That's the only reason. And it's not like you do understand that gay women can see themselves in gay men as well, right? You do understand that. And also, like, even if again, like, there's a border between just, like, objectifying and fetishizing, and also just, like, that's kind of what the explicit tag is for stuff that, like, turns people on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's what it is. That's why the porn,
here to tell you,
like,
everybody,
without the
guess what?
porn with plot tag
Masturbating
exists.
is okay.
It's okay, guys.
Orgasms are fun if you enjoy having them.
Please do. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Go nuts. Just don't make it weird. Like, there are so many things in this world where it's like people are like, somebody did this in a way that's bad. That means the thing that they were trying to do was bad. It's like, no, it means that the way that they did it was bad. What?
Yeah.
So it's like, so you try to tell people, like, hey, the way that you did the thing was bad. The thing that you were attempting to achieve was value neutral.
Yeah.
This is why you hire fucking intimacy coordinators to do your sex scenes in movies.
Yeah. They're valuable, you know?
The existence of the sex scene is value neutral. The way you treat the people who are creating the art is not value neutral.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Intimacy coordinators are as important as fight cord, right? Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are putting people in a vulnerable position. You hire a trained person to support them as they make art in a uniquely vulnerable position.
Yes. Fucking clap emoji.
Like, I just, you know what? And also, like, I don't know, man. Just, we gotta stop being so weird about being naked.
Yeah. This is the fucking Tumblr post again that's like they've never seen their grandma's tits. Like, being naked and, like, sex can be two totally different things. Like, and should be. Because, like, I know it could do such crazy shit to your head if you associate being naked with sex. Like, you can't even be naked, like, with yourself. Because you're viewing it entirely through the lens of, like, sexiness. And it just comes back around to the, like, male fantasies things. And it's like, sometimes you just gotta be, like, naked, though.
Everybody has
like,
a butt crack.
It's fine. Like, that's just your body.
Everybody has a butt crack. And it's really gotta get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
and it's totally
that weirdly
separate.
manipulated picture of John Lennon's, like,
Some people have more butt crack than others. Apparently,
or
less. Got Yoko's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the first, 5 times I saw that, it took me way too long to figure out what was wrong.
Ezra, me too.
Why are you posting this picture of, I've seen this picture of John Lennon and Yoko Ono before, and then it was just, I imagined, someone making a gif of my face, a cartoon version of my face, as I, finally, registered what was wrong with this picture, and my eyes just suddenly took up, the top third of my head.
I feel like the first couple times
as the episode art.
Please God, no.
I'm Ezra. I love you, and that was a very funny joke. I'm not commissioning shit for this.
Oh no, I just mean, can we steal that fucking meme?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we should either, but I would like to live in the alternate universe that I have spoken into existence where we did.
Yeah, just picture it in your head.
I
just
was about to commission somebody to do art, and we're fine. Okay.
I'm just imagining, some fucked up universe where it's cartoons of the 3 of us, and it's, fucking descending butt crack sides.
Oh dear.
Please feel free to cut that.
Not on your life. I don't have any control over that, but...
Okay, well, note to the editor, aka me, a week from now. I don't know, man. Figure that one out on your own. This is a you pick. I can't help you here.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I think it's sad. It makes me sad. For real. The sort of fandom turn towards this, puritanical angle, specifically because, for me, as for, frankly, a lot of people, fan-created erotica was a safe space to explore my developing sexuality, where,
totally.
I wasn't getting exposed to, violently misogynist pornography.
Yeah.
Because I was reading pornography that was written by queer people about queer characters.
Yeah.
And, I was learning about all sorts of, sex acts and things that sure as shit nobody was gonna tell me about living in fucking suburban Mukilteo. You think anybody was gonna explain the mechanics of oral sex to me? No, I had to learn about that shit from fanfiction. And, also, got introduced to a paradigm of sex that was about, expressing your devotion to your partner and enjoying, deriving pleasure from making the person you're with feel good. And, feeling having different kinds of emotional, depictions of people having different kinds of emotional responses to doing sex stuff, and that being okay, and their partners accepting that. And obviously there was probably a fair amount of fucked up tropey shit, but for the most part it was a hell of a lot more wholesome, which is kind of a fucked up word to use here, but it was a hell of a lot more wholesome than just getting on the internet in the wilds of 2009 and just watching random commercially produced porn.
Yeah, totally.
Or amateur porn, which was almost...
Or amateur porn,
yeah.
which can be almost as bad,
Right.
I don't know, man. I feel of all of the sort of introductions to the concept of sex beyond the extremely clinical, we're only doing this because we think that the worst thing that can happen is teen pregnancy or whatever, but also we don't want to admit that teenagers could possibly have a sexuality.
Right.
Which also
You do realize this is a thing for adults, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't have sex with anybody in high school, but that doesn't mean I didn't want to.
Right.
Like, my God, speaking of which, the to-do list. I must say, I mean, this is, I don't know if people know the plot of the to-do list if you haven't seen it yet.
I don't.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
The to-do list is a movie from, gosh, could be literally at any point in the mid 2010s. It really just has that sort of timeless 2010s feel to it. But it stars Aubrey Plaza as a overachieving kind of like valedictorian who is at the end of her high school career, about to go to college, and she has not had sex yet, and she's realizing that she's going to be like really underprepared when she goes to college, I guess. 2013, that is the year it came out. So she like she's like, you know, the kind of person who makes lists, so she makes a to-do list of all the things that she talks to her very sexually experienced older sister, played by Rachel Bilson, and she says, what are all of the things that you did? And she's like, well, these things, and she writes them all down in the order that she wants to have them. And so she goes around experimenting with like this guy, her science partner, who like likes her, and these other guys that she knows, so that she can be like sexually experienced enough to then finally go like and have sex, like full sex, with this guy that she thinks is really cute before going to college. And so that's just the movie. And then she also gets a job at Bill Hader comes into this, of course, because she gets a job at the pool over the summer, and Bill Hader is the pool manager, the slacker pool manager that we're, you know, of course, in love with. But sure, that she's not in love with, that who's completely a platonic character in this situation, but who, of course, moviegoers by the name of Helena are in love with.
I was going to say, sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter that
of course,
she's not in love with him.
No, she has no romantic feelings for him whatsoever, which is very nice. So that's the movie. And it was kind of just like a weird experience because, I mean, so she has these two friends, one of whom is played by Alia Shawkat, which, oh my God, love. And they're always saying like, yeah, like all of these things that you haven't done all of these things. Like I've had sex this many times. And I'm like, you guys are in high school. And because my high school experience was like, so, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit I am a little bit. I did not have sex in high school. So like, this was a very different experience. I always feel like that watching these kinds of movies about like sex comedies, like teen sex comedies, because I feel like that was just like not something that was like going on and wasn't even a preoccupation going into college. And like the movie ends with her like talking to this guy, the guy that she was seeing beforehand, being like, you know, some people use college is just like a way to start sexually experimenting, or some kind of line like that. Not quite that. And I was like, well, not really. And Leah was like, well, some people do. And I was like, well, that's true. My experience was not just quite, you know, the same as everybody else's. So, you know, that's kind of like the weird thing with like sex in movies is like, even though like I felt like this was like, I could connect to this less now, maybe because I'm an adult and I don't feel like this movie was made for adults, weirdly enough, you know? Even though the cast is, of course, entirely populated by adults, even who are all playing high school students, practically.
Of course, yeah.
You know, naturally. But like I was when I was in college, the character's age, I was watching stuff like Weekend, which I just, you know, I don't know. It's just like this weird disconnect between these things. I do find those movies where the goal of the character is just to have sex very funny. But I don't know if I find them very, like, when they're set in high school, I don't know if I find them very relatable, because I did not want to have sex with anybody at my high school.
Yeah, that was also not a goal for me.
And, you know, that is I don't want to be mean. That's not entirely a comment on, you know, high school boys, but it kind of is.
For me, it was also, I think, I was very closeted in multiple ways, where I was like, I'm not touching any of that with a 10-foot pole right now. And then I got to college and I was like, oh. It's because I didn't want to be seen as a girl. Okay.
Part of me kind of wish that I had fucked high school or like early college just so that it would have given I feel like I would have just like gotten it's like I would have gotten it over with and then I would have been like less weird about it.
Yeah, but there's always this like other separate point for like queer people where we talk all the time about like a second puberty, right? Where like the dating scene you have when you're a teen, if you're a queer teen, when you're our age, I think it's very different for people who are in high school now. Thank God. It's very different for people who are in high school now. But for us, it was like, even if you were dating around in high school, it feels different. It didn't feel like real. And then you actually started dating after you come out, and you're like, oh, fuck, it's like I'm doing it for the first time all over again.
Yes, 100% definitely.
Like, definitely articles about people who come out like their 30s and 40s, and they're like, shit, I thought I got this over with. Like, I'm a full-ass adult, and I'm acting like I'm 17 again. Like, this is insane. So, like, even if we had fucked around in high school, like, it may not have made a difference, you know?
You know what? Thank you for saying. I find that weirdly comforting. That like, it's.
I know it would have not changed anything for me because I would have been like, oh, I did all that like when I was a girl and now I'm not a girl.
Yeah,
so, like,
I think that is absolutely true for me as well. I would have had to sort of figure it out all over again with like a different self-conception. That makes a lot of sense. I find that weirdly comforting that this was sort of like, this was always going to have to be a part of my, like, figuring my shit out journey. And so, I don't know, maybe I would have just ended up, like, hurting myself by, like, trying to be, just sort of, like, not being able to understand why it wasn't working the way I wanted it to be. Round peg in a square hole. Yeah. So, I don't know. But, isn't it nice that I can have... I can experience art where other people have had similar experiences to me and try to, like, communicate them on screen, or other people have had really different experiences to mine and try to communicate them through art, and I get to, like, think about that shit and have it, like, me think about my own shit in a different way because, oh my god, it's almost like fucking experiencing other people's points of view, like, sometimes just, like, makes you, like, understand yourself better.
You've just described... art.
I'm really hungry. Once again, it's like making me like. Yeah,
you are very valid. I would also like to say, on that note of like speaking of like other people's experiences with it, sexual repression can be very sexy and very relatable. And
this is why we like
apropos of nothing at all. So I think that was like a big thing for me too when I was in high school, like, not to get too personal, but I always feel really super weird when I went on dates with people. I went on, like, I've been on very few dates, and I went on with like some when I was in high school and also when I was in college, and I always felt like so weird. I was like, this is weird. This is just like so weird. Why are we doing this? I'm very much not a person who enjoys like the date kind of thing. At least I think I don't, probably. Maybe I'll prove myself wrong sometime. So that like whole like it was very rare for me to see people who like had the same relationship to sexuality in movies that were also like I could relate to in terms of their gender and sexuality, like who were like had a long history of being very open about the fact that they were attracted to multiple kinds of people, especially people who it was not typically like acceptable to be attracted to, which was my experience growing up, and also like pretty much lifelong horniness in a way, if you want to put it like that. And I would only talk about myself in this way because it's myself. But then also being like, are we about to, I don't know. I don't think that we should do that. Let's not do that. Incredibly horny, incredibly repressed. It's very nice to see that in fan fiction and also in regular fiction, which is why Maurice is such a great movie. And a great
honestly, also, like, I feel like there's something to be said for the art of the fucking ratcheting tension payoff, because the other thing that's important to remember about Maurice is that it's a bunch of dudes cock blocking themselves and crying about it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then when they finally bang, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And also, you know, like, incredibly emotionally moving and shit, but also, like, I cannot stress this enough. It makes you wait.
Yeah. I mean, people love a slow burn, right? This is why people like like
I
D&D
certainly
and
do.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why I always avoid the established relationship tag on AO3. I'm like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
This?
I don't care about this.
And that's my
I want to see the get together. That's why people love romantic comedies too.
I would like to use my platform now to complain about the problem that I have with the vast majority of Witcher fanfic. Even when I close out the established relationship tag in Archive of Our Own, I still get these fanfics, like specifically ones that come up that are Geralt and Jaskier, obviously, because I leave the relationship tags pretty open because I'm fun and cool like that. I'm into, many different things.
Sure.
But
sure, you're flexible.
Sure, but that is obviously the vast majority of the fanfic that is there right now. And even when I close it, it's like, obviously the whole like point of the fanfic is that Jaskier is obviously in love with Geralt and has been the whole time. And I'm like, well, that's boring. Like, we know that, but try and be interesting about it. Come
what
on.
If he didn't know? What if he didn't know and he came to a realization about it?
Let's slowly get there. Come on. It's so frustrating.
God.
Ugh. I mean,
this is the problem, I feel like, when you get into a fandom that has a bunch of fic, is you get the same, it's like you see the same eyes in different people, but instead you see the same fics fucking everywhere, and it's like, all of you are so boring.
I know.
You've all got some hive mind, and it's what I don't agree with.
I swear to God, I cannot tell you how much Witcher fanfic I have actually read. I have bookmarked 2. Count them, 2 fanfics. Out of all the ones that I have read,
I think I've got a couple.
Where I've gotten through to the end,
but for the most part, I'm like
cringed and been like, yeah, that was good. I'd read that again. Who
cares?
And I was like, that's really hard. And it's not
can't
that
live like this.
The quality of the writing is always bad. It's just
on this
like
website.
If it's not bad, then it's just like, this is not what I want, and they're all the same. Which is just the own problem that I've created for myself.
Boy.
Oh boy. Wow. What if we ended on that?
I mean, can we end on a funny story about sexualizing old men on the internet?
Yes, please.
So, I would just like to give a special shout out because earlier today, my friend I was on lunch and I just checked my phone, and she had sent me a video that was simply Jason Isaacs on some sort of show. I do not know why. Context was not important. Mm-hmm. Dramatically reading aloud from 50 Shades of Grey, and it just said, "You just need to see this." And I thought, I'm really glad that I have cultivated the impression of a person who needs to be sent videos of Jason Isaacs dramatically reading 50 Shades of Grey.
I feel like all of our lives would be vastly improved if we had a friend like that who knew to send videos.
I'm gonna post this in the fucking chat so that you can all enjoy this, because he's an accomplished dramatic actor, so he's really just going for it with a straight face.
I love him. I know that we've talked about him in Peter Pan many, many times before.
And we will do so again.
But my God.
Okay, any other wrap-up thoughts? Is that kind of the long and short of it? This went a lot of places. This always goes a lot of places.
I was just thinking about how my roommate saw Hugh Dancy and Claire Danes in the West Village one time, and what if I saw them there again? And no, I would never do that to Hugh Dancy. I would never go up and ask him a question like that. Never mind, we can't take this to its logical conclusion. I have no punchline for this.
Okay. Great.
Mostly because I've never seen Hannibal. I wouldn't know what to ask him.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that you haven't, because that was such a foundational part of Ezra and I's relationship that I just kind of slap it onto you as well, but... Mm-hmm.
My gay ass, yeah.
Oh, memories.
I mean, it might as well be, because Raul Stars was in it, Eddie Izzard's in it.
I know!
Mads Mikkelsen, as we previously stated.
as stated, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's there, notably, I would say.
He's pretty much there.
He's kind of the guy.
He's kind of like present in each episode.
He's kind of like the guy.
Mads, can you come down today? And he was like, sure.
Hey, I know it's kind of inconvenient, but can you come down and film the show that you're the title character of? And he was like, yeah, I guess, he's kind of easygoing like that.
He's just like a great guy like that. He's a very reliable
Richard Armitage
actor.
Is there.
Richard Armitage is there. Forgot.
Gillian Anderson.
Oh my god.
Richard Armitage sure is there.
He's there. He's there, though.
I have not seen that season, but he sure is there.
Richard.
Y'all remember that time that teen painted that hanagram art and it got put in the Capitol?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so... God.
I really felt like that would eradicate COVID, but I guess not. Okay, well...
Here's well, I mean, this was pre-COVID, I think. Yeah. Anyway, so I think on that note, I don't know if that's really the note I want to end on, but it's the one I'm going to end on. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Come check us out at infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo. You can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our super snazzy logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. Check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or a retelling of your worst sex scene movie experience, come say hello. Also, if you can, please leave a review on iTunes and share the show with any friends who think would enjoy it. Any way you can help spread the news helps us so much, and we really appreciate it. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.